So we're in week 16. Lay down your results. Where are we at?
I had 5 officially under contract.
Awesome.
And out of the 5, one of them had the house to sell that we're getting ready to list. So once that goes under contract, then that will be 6. And then I'm picking up a new listing, which was a FISBO that direct messaged me. And we had the phone consult yesterday. And she was like, okay, yeah, just send me, we haven't even met in person. She's like, go ahead and send me all the listing documentation.
So we're probably up to at least 50 consultations in the last 4 months.
Probably, yep.
And 5 under contract and 2 listings.
Yes.
That's amazing. Meet Maritza, a real estate agent out of Texas, and after just 4 months, she had 5 under contract and 2 listings, all from Instagram. She was also able to go from about 1,500 followers all the way up to about 5,800 followers, and from about 100,000 monthly views all the way up to over 1 million monthly views consistently. This wasn't Maritza's first rodeo. She had actually taken a group course before. It was about 8 weeks. But in the end, if you've ever taken any of these group courses before, they basically just feed you to the course. You have a couple group calls, maybe 1 group call a week, and you're kind of left to your own means, and it can be quite overwhelming. So in this video, we're gonna break down all of her success, what were truly the key factors, where was she at before to where was she at now, and everything in between. So let's see how she did it. So we're in week 16. Lay down your results. Where are we at?
Okay, so I'm at over 5,800 followers.
And where'd you start?
Now, I think it was 1,500.
Nice. So over
1,500.
4,000.
Yes. And then I had 5 officially under contract.
Awesome.
And out of the 5, one of them had the house to sell that we're getting ready to list. So once that goes under contract, then that will be 6. And then I'm picking up a new listing, which was a FISBO that direct messaged me. And we had the phone consult yesterday. And she was like, okay, yeah, just send me, we haven't even met in person. She's like, go ahead and send me all the listing documentation. I like what you have to say. And then we're going from there.
Nice. So 4 under contract worth, what was it again? Or no, sorry, 5 under contract worth. 5 under contract worth how much?
3 million, I think. 730. They're all pretty much most of them are double than what my medium sales price was, like my average sales price.
So we doubled the average sales price. Plus on these ones, I know you mentioned that they several of them were a new builder, and so they had more incentives essentially, even from your side.
Yes. So there's one house that I have under contract. It's $375, but they are paying 6% commission on it.
So at 3 million at 3%, that's like 90 grand. Do you think it'll come out to over 90 grand?
Probably. Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be close to it.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So all of them are closing. Well, 3 of them for sure are closing this month. And then I have one, the 4th one is closing in end of January. And then we have the custom build that one should be done in the spring.
Yeah, what would you, if you were to estimate or try to quantify, if you will, anybody else that you're kind of keeping track of, let's say over the next 3 months, what would you say actually is in the pipeline? Not like the full pipeline of like year plus, because that's.
Yeah, like for sure, I would say probably another 5, like extremely very serious people. Pretty much everybody's around 700 and plus.
Nice. And your average was what?
325, 350.
That's crazy. What's your monthly views right now?
I'm at 1.2 million.
Do you remember what you were at? I actually have it. Yeah, you were at 118,000. When you first joined, were you booking any consultations?
I was not. No consultations.
You had never booked one consultation?
No, I had one closing through Instagram maybe 3-4 years ago, and that was it. I had nothing. I was very antisocial in regards to social media. I could not jump in. I just couldn't see myself, doing those silly videos. And then I felt like I needed these overproduction videos, like all these agents. I'm in a market of 66,000 agents, so it's kind of like, oh my God. And I was kind of like an old dog trying to learn new tricks. So this year I finally I hit rock bottom where it's like, okay, I have to figure this has to work. So I put it all in for the past, when I started, I gave myself 90 days of this is what I'm, doing nonstop. It did took over me, but I had to make it work. And then here we are.
I know I logged it at like a couple weeks ago. It was like 2 weeks ago. You had 36 total consultations.
Yeah.
Do you know how many you're at now?
I think last time I messaged you was 4, 5. It's a little bit slower. So I think I'm like at 6.
This month?
Yeah, 6 or 7. Yeah.
6 or 7 this month. And then every other month, like month 1 was like 16. Month 2 was like 12 or 13.
It's like 14. I think every month has been like 16, 14, and 14. Or even 16. Yeah.
40. So we're probably up to at least 50 consultations in the last 4 months.
Probably. Yep.
And 5 under contract and 2 listings.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I am very, very, very happy. This morning I had a new construction buyer walkthrough, and we're via Zoom because my clients are coming from Paris. Like the fact that I'm having consults with people that are in Europe. I have a consult set up for someone that's in Australia. So trying to navigate a 17-hour time difference. It's fun, but it's exciting because it's crazy where my stuff is reaching.
So prior to you coming in, because you had mentioned like I wasn't really the social media type, right? I didn't want to do these things like high production or kind of whatever people were doing kind of back in the day. It's not so much like that anymore. Dancing, whatever it may be. Because you had done other things. What had you done up until this point?
So I did another social media coaching program that it kind of like, it was, it got my feet a little wet with it, but it wasn't fully diving in of what I needed to do. Especially I think the DM thing was actually game changer versus me waiting for them to message me. I was messaging them, so very dialed in of like, everyone says ideal client, and then I couldn't figure out what that was. And eventually as the program was going, I kind of figured that out,
Yeah. So after taking that other social media program, what did you still feel unsure on?
What I wanted to say, like my messaging. And the only way that came through was through my consults, because they were essentially telling me what they wanted to know, what they needed to know. Mm-hmm. And so I used that to work with my social media, my reels, my carousels, So the first month, my consults, I was like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. And then after that, they became very comfortable. I didn't do phone consults. Everyone was face-to-face Zoom calls.
Mm-hmm. So as you look ahead towards, because it's December 17th right now, what do you think 2026 looks like? Do you feel like where you're currently at is sustainable for the next year plus? What's the goal for 2026 in terms of number of transactions or volume or however you like to measure it?
So my volume is 20 million minimum. And I'm not counting it for 2026. So the way I'm doing it personally, I'm doing it from like when I'm starting now till then. So by December of next year, I need to have 20 million. Because there's no reason to wait till the beginning of the year. Like the work started now.
Yeah.
And there's people like, oh, I'll start at the beginning. No. Like my goal is starting now, and people are slowing down right now because of the holidays, and I'm doing the opposite. So I'm going to do posting 2 times a day when people are slowing down.
Mm-hmm. You're going to go back to posting twice a day?
I did. I started on Monday, which was today, Wednesday. Yeah.
To the person that is watching this that just had a pit in their stomach when you said twice a day, what would you say to that? Is posting twice a day hard?
It is. It can be. Yes, it is. But if you plan it ahead, it makes it so much easier, So I try to plan my 2 posts at least the night before. If I can get 4 batch, then even better. But it just makes my day easier being able to do the inspections, going to the listing appointments, doing my consults, knowing that I already have something that I'm going to post and I have to worry about it and be rushed about it.
Do you feel like you actually have a system that you can rely on that adds predictability into your business?
I think now, in regards to what I'm posting, yes, because now I have content pillars that I can rotate between connection, real estate, and then what's the other one? I'm not good.
Local, yes. So then now I know what I need to rotate between them. So that, I think that's the hardest part of not knowing what to post, and now I know what kind of houses my clients like. And it's crazy because
I do post a lot about land and homes on larger acreage and everything. And honestly, the houses that I have under contract right now, they're not even on that.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the biggest reasons is that it's what gets people's attention and it's what people want, but then it tends to kind of fall back down to reality sometimes.
Yeah.
Because
Possibly.
everyone tends to be a little unrealistic, right?
Yep. Yes. So, but yeah, I think right now I feel a whole lot more comfortable with doing social media for sure.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're a social media person now?
I had to be a social media person. Yes, I had to be.
Yeah.
So I am now.
Has your identity changed at all?
In regard to social media, yeah. Being able to knowing now when I go out, I know that it's always a social media moment of capturing and having that content and building that up. Yes, so that has definitely changed with that. My confidence is back for sure, especially because this is what I'm used to having, a lot of contract stuff going, a lot of moving parts going.
Yeah. How many transactions for 2025, do you know?
For 2025, I think I was at 10.
Okay, so 10 transactions. And then what about 2024? Did it go low or was it normal?
It was around there. I think 2024 was around 12, which was also really, not me because I'm used to doing about 40 transactions a year.
When you look at, if we were to compare two different programs, because obviously a lot of people have options. When you compare a group cohort model, that was what, 8 weeks?
I think so, yes.
Okay, so it was a group cohort, 8 weeks. You had a Facebook group or something?
Yes.
And then you met 1 hour a week, or was it an hour and a half too?
I think it was once a week we met.
And then you had a course, of course. What would be the biggest differences of like, why didn't it work with that compared to kind of the implementation, the structure of the way we help you implement, essentially?
I think the difference was whenever I started that one other course, they gave me everything and just kind of like, just go through it yourself. Mm-hmm. And so then I was doing it and I was watching constantly all the videos and everything, but then it was too much. Right. And so then it became very, very overwhelming and I could not, then I wouldn't apply it. Right. Mm-hmm. Versus with you, we had steps like you had it scheduled, like this is what you're going to do. And I only want you to do this, this, and this. Mm-hmm. And so for me, for my ADD brain and the way I function, I need that. I need structure. Don't just let me loose and just let me do whatever. I can't do that because then it gets very overwhelming and then I just give up and don't do it at all.
Binge watching, massive consumption.
Yep.
That's actually really, really good feedback. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I really, really like that. And I remember I told you, I was like, I need structure. I need you to tell me what I need to post every day, every week, as in like the kind of content pillar. And then from there, and then I got just used to it. And then I was able to now recognize at the very beginning, I didn't know what do we consider connection? What is real estate? What, Mm-hmm. But now I have that, definitely more down. So.
When you look at everything that we've been able to provide or kind of how the last 16 or so weeks have gone, what would you say, and this is for my own purpose, like what were the most influential parts that if you stripped everything away, don't strip these things?
Learning how to write like your captions. I honestly think the DM thing, the whole script with the DMs and getting the DMs going after it was a game changer for me because I was always told, oh, just wait for them to get to you. Well, no, in this case, we weren't. We had a hand raiser, so we need to let them know, hey, I'm here if you need me. We had to, they don't know. Once they follow or they hit guide, they don't know what else through there, right? So then you help me understand where I need to guide them. Like, depending which way they came in, this is where we're going to take you through this process, and this is where we're going to get to the call.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what made, I love that. That was like the number one, I would say, game changer for me was that part.
What about anything else from the group, the community, the channels, the weekly emails, anything like that?
So I love the weekly emails because it helps me get my brain started of what I need to post. It helps me from not feeling like, oh my God, spend so much time doom scrolling because you already did that for us, So you already did that for us. So then we just kind of pick from there week by week. Yeah. And then being able to connect twice a week with a group of other agents, because I always like to get in. When I get my inspiration, I like to get agents from somewhere else that they're not in my market. Like I don't even follow like agents in my market. I am looking at agents in Canada. There's one girl that I think she's in Belgium, I think, or somewhere over there, you know? So I like to be able to have different agents from different markets in our group because everyone provides their feedback and what's working, what's not working.
Yeah. Totally.
There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. So if somebody knows something that's working, then it's great. We can share it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you've crushed it. I remember telling you, and I wrote it in my story. I remember telling you, you know, the goal or the max was 4, and you're like, I'm gonna beat it. And I think at that point you were like at 3 or something like that. And so you just went to town. And how were you getting leads before this?
I wasn't. So for the past few years, I was not getting any leads. Up to like 3 years ago, I was doing online leads, which was like a Realtor.com lead, which I was very heavy on. But after that, it was just my circle of influence. But at some point, I don't care what anybody says, that dries out.
Do you feel like do you feel confident now that you have a lead source? Obviously, you've gone from Zillow Realtor.
For sure. Oh yeah, I love this lead source. Yes.
How many leads, if you were to just throw out if you were to quantify it, try to quantify it, how many leads per month are you currently getting?
Well, I mean, just based on the consults, right? And then the follows, every day is at least, I mean, I'm pretty much almost waking up to like 30 new followers, right? It was at 50 and it slowed down a bit, but I think it's because of the holidays. So yeah.
Well, Maritza, you've totally crushed it. You blew all the numbers out of the water. Most consultations, most under contract, most just total deals in general. So congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you. I mean, once you told me what the number was, I was like, okay, that's my goal. I got to beat that number.
If you don't know me, my name is Jimmy Conover and I'm a real estate agent out of Boise, Idaho. In the first 12 months of being a real estate agent, I was able to take a brand new Instagram account from 0 to 23,000 followers using the lifestyle method, where I gained over 25 million views in just 12 months, which ended up turning into 9 transactions under contract when coupled with a targeted DM strategy. So I wasn't just relying on inbound DMs. I called it the lifestyle method because I leveraged my lifestyle for my marketing, because I didn't have a lot of time to actually market my business. So I had to figure out a way to use the time with my family as my prospecting method. Several years ago, I moved from Arizona to Idaho. So I leveraged that with my story, as well as my understanding of how to film houses and understand what people actually want. Now, if you want to learn more about how I can actually help you inside of our one-on-one 16-week program called the Social Circle, then you can click the link below and learn everything about it. And if you think that, oh, I can't do this, I don't have a video background, I didn't relocate, I've helped everybody all across the board. I've worked with over 120 agents at this point, ranging from you grew up there, you relocated, 24 years old, all the way up to 50, 60 plus. And so I've worked with everybody in between. So if you feel like I can't help you, I probably can, unless you live in a small town that nobody actually wants to move to. There is that. So if you're interested in learning more, I break it all down in about a 5-minute video, or see any of the testimonials of anybody that we worked with. I encourage you to check them out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.